Welcome to the Inspired Action Interview Series. I'm Francis from Golden Media, and our guest today is Katrina Oko Odoi. Let's learn more of her story. I'm excited to introduce Katrina Oko Odoi. She's someone whose work aligns perfectly with the mission-driven impact that I value. So let's dive right into her story. I would love to start with what inspired you to become a content writer?
Yeah. Thanks, Francis, so much for having me. It's a pleasure, and I'm always excited to talk with you and work with you. I've been a content writer for the past 14 years. I have my own company, ContentWorm, and provide content strategy, execution, and development, mostly in the business to business B2B space. But as far as being a content writer, I've been writing since I was a little girl. I grew up in elementary school. I was encouraged. We had a lot of poetry writing in my classes, and I just fell in love with it. And I actually published my first poem when I was 11.
Oh,
Um, and I've been writing ever since. Of course, it's evolved and now become a profession, but it's always kind of been a natural talent and calling of mine. And writing has been one of the ways that I process the world, even when I was a child. Then I went to graduate school, got my PhD in literature, and I was doing a lot of editing work. And at some point, it was like, hey, you're editing all of this, like you could write it yourself. So it kind of naturally segged into me doing some writing, like blog article writing back in the day for businesses. And I've been able to apply kind of my research and academic background to work with more technical companies and help them translate complex information and even some of their own data or research studies that they conduct into meaningful narratives and stories that help them present themselves professionally and effectively to a broader audience. So, it's still about stories. It's just in a different format these days.
mhm. So what keeps you motivated in the field today?
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, right now, it's like a quickly changing field. What keeps it interesting for me is that it's never just about writing, it's creative and it's strategic. And I'm thinking about what will resonate with a specific audience and what will move them to act. So I need to kind of really tune into their mindset. And I'm always digging into threads online or Reddits or watching videos and really figuring out what the voice of the audience is, the customer, which is fun. And it allows me to adapt my tone to different groups and demographics. But the variety is also one of my favorite parts. I'm a lifelong learner, so I love that I could be writing about some very niche topic like geolocation compliance software one week. And then the next week, I'm talking about construction equipment or B2B sales intelligence. And I get to learn about industries in very unique niches that I previously knew nothing about. And then I become kind of an expert enough to write about them convincingly and, to also talk about them at cocktail parties, have little interesting factoids to share with people.
Yeah, that keeps things more interesting since you're not doing talking about the same thing over and over again. So,
Exactly. Yeah.
who do you love helping the most through your writing?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I would say it aligns with what I've shared already about how I really value research and first party research. And I think in the era of AI, that's even more important. I like working with companies that have compelling first party research, whether it's data, insights, or even case studies, and
Mhm.
then turning that into meaningful narratives for a larger audience. In addition to that, so I develop things like white papers or reports, and then also even on websites, sometimes we will develop kind of like a by the numbers type module or page to showcase the results that they're getting for their clients or
Like case
different
study.
types of research and insights that they have about their offerings.
Mhm.
On the other side, and this is how you and I met through Hera Hub, a female kind of co-working and networking community. I love partnering with female founders who take a research informed and evidence based approach to their business.
Mm-hmm.
So I partner with a few such individuals. A lot of them are kind of in the business consulting space. So whether their background is in organizational psychology or neuroscience or something else, it's always fun to be able to bring in that academic research and have that inform some of the really important contributions and insights that they're sharing with their clients and help them develop thought leadership around that positioning and perspective that they have.
Okay. So speaking of AI, how has it changed the way you approach copywriting?
Yeah, that's a important questions, and we can't avoid talking about it these days, right?
Mhm.
There's no denying that AI is ubiquitous and is here to stay. It's a part of the average person's daily life these days. But I think one thing to note is that there's something to say about the ease of a tool that becomes overused or overdone and often also a crutch for many people and businesses. Because if it's so easy, a lot of people do it and then you end up getting very similar messaging that
Yep.
sounds the same. Everyone's posting all the time in the same format and without necessarily having much of a unique perspective. So it's a great tool, but it's most effective, I find, when it is used as a collaborator or enhancer, not an originator. When you ask AI to come up with its own ideas, they might sound good at the beginning, but if you think through it, it's like very fluff. It doesn't really have much substance. So
Yep.
that's kind of where I come in. I really help my clients use AI strategically and also help with ideation and messaging aspect of it. It's important to use it in a way where you're sharing valuable insights and you're maintaining your unique voice and perspective. AI is also quickly changing the digital marketing space. So,
Mhm.
working with an expert like myself who is on top of emerging trends can help you kind of account for changes in things like organic search, where now with AI overviews, so many people are just reading those instead of clicking into websites that a lot of website traffic has gone down.
Yep.
So, there's different things that can be done, like restructuring your website content to focus on being featured in AI overviews and snippets, as well as just different mediums, right? Like a lot more people are on LinkedIn, kind of focusing on more lead generation and nurturing on that platform. But it's still important to have a strategy behind the way you're positioning yourself.
Yep. So what's the best first step for someone who wants to collaborate with you?
Yeah, that's a great question. I'm easily reachable. You can find me at www.contentworm.com. I probably don't need to say www anymore. I think I just dated myself. And my email is Katrina at editingworm.com. Editingworm, ContentWorm are my two kind of brands. But we can schedule a 15-minute informational call. I love to learn about people's goals as well as their audience, and then kind of what their current approach to messaging and copywriting is, and then we can discuss how I can help. Companies come to me either with a very specific project, but I also work long term with many clients through a retainer model, monthly content development, LinkedIn execution in various formats and approaches, and you can see all that on my website.
Awesome. And finally, what advice would you give someone who's ready to take inspired action? And like, what does inspired action mean to you?
Okay, yeah, that's an important question for your series. I think inspired action for me means acting from a place of kind of conviction and passion. So letting your own passion inform what you do and how you do it. And I've spoken with a lot of like aspiring copywriters and I mentor a couple of them. And I always kind of just tell them like jump in. It might be hard to find paying clients at first, but that doesn't prevent you from starting to publish your own writing, right? It's easier than ever to start a blog page or even just post on LinkedIn. and start kind of developing your own voice, because the more practice you have with that, the easier it will be to adapt your voice to other people, other brands, other clients. And it's important to get feedback. So if you're publishing blog articles or LinkedIn posts and people are engaging with them, it helps kind of spark your thought process and helps you just evolve as a writer, as a copywriter. The experience and the clarity comes from doing, not from sitting around and waiting to get a gig, right? And then I would say break things down into small, doable steps. I work on a lot of large projects. Like I'm working on an article right now that's like 45 pages, but
Wow.
I break it down into sections and focus on one step at a time, and then I build momentum as I go. And finally, I would say just trust your own voice. You might not think you have anything unique to share, but you have your own life experiences, and everyone's life experiences are different. So start from there, share your story, and see where it takes you.
Awesome. Thank you for all those wisdom, Katrina. And thank you
Yeah.
everyone for tuning in today. And I hope you learned a lot about Katrina and what she can help you with on your life and goals. Thank you and bye.
Thanks. Bye.